ready. The guy that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at
All right, Mr. Bible. Hot mics in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now here's your host, Jason Bible.
Welcome to the show. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. Just got back from LA, spent the week there. Actually doing a little bit of money raising. Talking with some friends of ours in the real estate business. Spent almost a week there. It's fascinating. Really is. It's fascinating to go to other states, especially especially like Los Angeles. You know, it's California is one of those places that real estate is. If there's anybody that can tell me that can give me the excuse that the market's too competitive or the market is extremely competitive, Californians are one of those few people that can get away with that excuse. However, we'll tell you this: got to meet with a ton of successful real estate investors. So there are people that are getting success out there. There really are. They're doing incredible things, buying a lot of houses, building fine deals in the market you're in. Whether you're in California or you're in Kentucky, it doesn't matter. There's great deals everywhere. You're going to have to find them. You're going to have to look for them. They're not going to just show up. You know, one of the things I find fascinating is when somebody tells me, "Hey, Jason, I'm on all these wholesalers' lists, and there's no deals out there." So let me get this straight. You want to become wealthy as a real estate investor? Yes. You want to become multimillionaire as a real estate investor? Absolutely. However, you sit there at your desk waiting for a wholesaler to make you a millionaire. Does that make sense? I mean, is a wholesaler going to be able to make you incredibly wealthy? Probably not. You're going to have to spend a little time. You have to do a little work. This isn't the something for nothing game. If you got sold that plan, it's not going to work. I've seen it multiple times. It won't work. You need to get on the right path. And I'll tell you where that starts. It starts at our weekend retreat. Coming up last weekend of September. You go to rightpathrealestate.com. You can sign up there. And we'll explain all the ways that you can make money in real estate, how to build a real estate business, an enduring brand. Build a business that continually brings in deals that you can close, that will make you money. Most people want to build wealth. That's why they get into real estate. And there's two components to building wealth: cash flow and equity. And you've got to have both. I see a lot of landlords out there that bring a lot of money to closing, meaning they don't have any equity. And I see a lot of other landlords, people who own real estate for the long term, have got some equity but don't have any cash flow. You can't build wealth without both. There's some folks that teach real estate that tell you that you've only got to do buy and hold, or you can only do flipping, or you can only do wholesaling. Nothing could be further from the truth. You need equity and cash flow to build wealth. Period. Got to have both. If you don't have both, you're really not building anything. But you got to do both. I've been getting a lot of questions about what to do with these flooded houses. And I'll just tell you, if you are intimidated or scared, outright fearful of buying houses that have flooded, maybe it's time that you stepped out of real estate investing. Because that's who's going to need our help right now. What some of you are starting to realize, you're starting to get phone calls from homeowners who have got properties that they don't want to live in anymore. And why don't they want to live in them anymore? It's pretty simple. Streets flood, their house flooded. They've lost everything. And they're calling you for you to come in and write them a check for that house. These are the times that separate amateurs from professionals. If you call yourself a professional home buyer and a seller calls you to sell their house, you ought to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. And I don't mean take advantage in a bad way, but I'll tell you this, FEMA is not going to rebuild this city. They're just not. FEMA doesn't ride in on a white horse and a cavalry full of contractors and roofers and painters and all that stuff. That's not what FEMA does. They write some checks and leave. Somebody still has to do all the work. And I'll tell you, to be real estate investors. Let me tell you something real scary. If there weren't real estate investors out there willing to rebuild some of these neighborhoods, you would see property values drop like a rock. I was thinking about this morning, and I think it's probably going to be something I share a little bit more often. You do not want flooded properties to show up on MLS. Let me repeat that again. So we got a lot of realtors that listen to the show. You do not want flooded properties to show up on MLS. Do you know why? It's just like having a bunch of foreclosed properties show up on MLS. What happens to the value of that neighborhood? It declines rapidly. In fact, at some point, there's so many distressed asset sales that the distressed asset sale is the new comp. Your house may not have flooded, but half the neighborhood did. And if these houses are selling $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, guess what your nice $200,000 house is worth? It's not worth $200,000 anymore. If you've got flooded houses that people want to list with you, you're going to want to find an investor instead. It's going to have a negative impact on your neighborhood. Imagine if half the houses in the neighborhood were flooded. What's the value of the houses that didn't flood? This is a popular thing I hear right now. Oh, Jason, those houses are worth more. No, they're not. If half the neighborhood is flooded, vacant, boarded up houses, what's the value of the houses that are not flooded? It's not it's not more. It's not the same before the storm. It's likely to be highly less. A lot less. This is no different than when you have a bunch of foreclosures in a neighborhood. If you have 10, 20% foreclosures in a neighborhood, what happens to the value of that neighborhood? Drops significantly. You get half the neighborhood that's taking water, what's going to happen to the value of those houses? And that's when real estate investors step in. Real estate investor steps in, buys the house, fixes it up, puts it back on the market. Smart real estate investors do this in a very metered fashion. In other words, if we were to come in and buy all of the flood houses in that neighborhood, we wouldn't go in and rehab them all at once and put them all on the market at the same time. Why? Because it will crush the value of that neighborhood.
2 minutes.
Let me explain something real quick here. At any one time, only about 3% of the houses in that neighborhood are on the market during a 12-month period. If 10% of the neighborhood got flooded and half of those flood houses end up on the market, that's almost 2 years worth of inventory, distressed inventory, that's on the market. That's a huge, huge problem. You thought you were living in a $300,000 house. That may be what your mortgage is for. You now live in a $150,000 house. If you've got a flooded house out there and you don't want to live in it anymore, be very careful with how you sell that house. The folks who have been selling houses to us over the last 11 days are just calling us and saying, hey, I'm done. That's literally what they say. I'm done.
1 minute.
Can you come out here and write me a check? And we go out there and take a look at the house and have a conversation and write a check. If every one of your neighbors is doing that, but they're doing it with a real estate agent putting on MLS, it's going to have a negative impact on the neighborhood. Highly recommend for those of y'all who have got houses that you want to sell, you call Houston House Buyers. That's our house buying company. HoustonHouseBuyers.com. If all of those houses make it on the market at the same time, it's going to hammer the value of your neighbor's house. Do not do that. Call somebody like us. We can bring those values back. Get back from the break. I've got a huge announcement today. I'm going to make that announcement in the next segment. It's Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate.
Mike's off.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston, Texas. At Quest IRA, we offer retirement accounts that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com or call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs. To tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S., call Quest IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary repair work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available. You just have to know where to look. Look no further than Noble Mortgage. Noble Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company that's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing to investors that covers purchase, repairs, and closing costs. In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no-income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done. Train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right. And complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992. Or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
Call Jason at 713-785-1817 and look for us on Facebook Live at facebook.com/RightPathRealEstate.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. All right, folks, so here's the big announcement. I just got back from California. We had a great time there. Fantastic hosts. If you guys need a recommendation for an Uber driver, Robert over at JB Fund Services, we call him the $1 million Uber driver. Such a nice guy, and his wife are fantastic, and he ends up Ubering us around town. I'm like, man, we could take an Uber. He's like, I'll just drive you guys. So I'll give you a good recommendation for he's not really an Uber driver. I'm just kidding, guys, but he ends up driving us around town from meeting to meeting. But we had a fantastic time. Meeting with a lot of folks. I got to present in front of a whole bunch of real estate investors. In fact, they liked it. They liked it enough that I'll be back in October, first week in October, and the first week in November. So we're, that's a long drive. So we're going to be flying back and forth from Houston to LA, which is great. So we're really excited about that. But big announcement today. We've got an opportunity in a business, and we're really looking for leaders. We're looking for 3 to 5 people who are just strong leaders that work hard. This is not going to be this can be I don't want to say a part-time thing because it really can't. I mean, you really got to work and want it bad. So I can tell you it's a fantastic opportunity. You'll be working alongside me, Tom, Colby, and Robert on this venture. It's not real estate related. So if you're looking for real estate advice and all that stuff, this isn't the way to necessarily get it. But we're looking for 3 to 5 people who consider themselves leaders, who work hard, because this is going to be hard work. I mean, I hope there's one, for those of you who are new, I hope there's one thing that we convey in this show. You can be successful in real estate, despite all the stuff that's happened before you've found our show. That's really A1 here, is that you can be successful in real estate. And the second thing is, you can be successful in real estate, but you're going to have to work. You have to work. Now, is it hard work? Not really. I mean, we're not doing rocket surgery up here. We're buying single-family houses and fixing them up. However, you're going to have to work. You can't be lazy. And you have to work consistently. I see a lot of people that work real hard for a week and they take a week off. They work real hard for a month and they take 3 months off. That's not going to work here either. Consistent, focused, hard work. So what we're looking for are 3 to 5 leaders. People that work hard, that can take direction. That's one thing that's very important. I find some people that are like, well, I'm a leader and I go out and do my own thing. And I'm like, this isn't a do your own thing. This is hey, we're building the strategy, and here is how you are going to implement it. But it's a fantastic opportunity. You can make a big impact on people's lives. You really can. It's pretty amazing. We were looking at some numbers last night, and if you implement this correctly, I mean, you can have your house paid off in a handful of years. I mean, you can have all your debt taken care of. I mean, there's some amazing things that can happen if you really work in this business. So if you're interested in this opportunity, again, we're looking for 3 to 5 people. Send an email to support@rightpathrealestate.com. Again, that's support, SUPPORT, @rightpathrealestate.com. Again, we're looking for 3 to 5 people, hardworking folks, consider themselves leaders, who've got time and commitment that can really help us build this company up. That's all we need is really just 3 to 5 people that are just dedicated, getting it done kind of folks that can take explicit instructions and implement what we teach. You get to work with me and Tom and Colby and Robert, which should be a lot of fun. You get to learn how to build a business. You'll get to be a part of building that business, and you'll get it'll be a substantial return for you in that regard. So, in any case, shoot an email to support@Right Path Real Estate, and we'll get started there. So we'll be doing some interviews. We'll pick these folks over the next, probably week or two, next couple of weeks, and then we'll get started. But it's a really great opportunity. This will be business number 4 for us. We've built 3. Each one of them has been successful, wildly successful in a handful of years. So this is your opportunity to really buckle down and build something with us. So again, we're looking for 3 to 5 folks. Shoot an email to support@Right Path Real Estate. All right, let's go back to the whole flooded house thing. So we're looking at flooded houses, and what we're really what's really going to happen in some of these neighborhoods that took a whole bunch of water. If these homeowners turn around and list all of these properties, it's going to have an adverse impact on property values. A better way to sell these houses is to a real estate investor who's going to hold on to them for a little while. Let me explain why. If you're in a neighborhood of 1,000 houses, we know statistically 3% of those houses will sell over a 12-month period. That's about 30 houses a year, meaning, somewhere between 2 and 3 houses a month sell through a real estate agent on MLS, or what's known as HAR here in Houston. Let's say half that neighborhood was flooded, 500 homes. And let's say, for instance, that half of those people who were flooded ultimately list their house on MLS. That means a neighborhood in which traditionally sold 30 houses a year on MLS is now selling 250 houses a year. Even if those houses were never flooded and were brand new and perfect, putting that many houses on the market at the same time would have a disastrous impact on that local market. What's worse is if those houses are all distressed and they haven't been rehabbed. If you want to save the value of a neighborhood, the way to do it is have an investor go in and buy all those houses up. And they don't put them on the market immediately. They buy those houses up, they fix them up, and then they slowly release that inventory back into the market. If you flood the market, no pun intended, if you flood the market with flood houses, it's going to have a huge negative impact on the market. You need to sell these to a real estate investor and allow that real estate investor to slowly release inventory into the market. If you don't do that, it's going to be, I'm telling you now, it's going to be a mess. We're already watching those neighborhoods. In fact, a week after the storm, the opposite effect of this is on rental properties. So what happens? Big flood comes into town, floods a bunch of houses, whole bunch of houses need to be rehabbed, and tenants have no place to go because their house just got flooded. What happens to rental prices? In the next 3 to 6 months, those rental prices spike. I mean, for a house that would have rented for $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a month is now starting at $2,000 a month up to $2,500 because of the housing shortage. So what happens when a whole bunch of houses flood the retail sales market and they haven't been rehabbed? It's no different than a foreclosure crisis. If your neighborhood sells 30 30 houses a year, and all of a sudden 250 houses pop on the market in the next 12 months, and they're all distressed assets, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that's going to have a positive impact on the value of that neighborhood?
2 minutes.
Do you think there's going to be no change? Or do you think it's going to have a negative impact on the value? If you flood the market with distressed assets, appraisers at some point are going to have to start adding those distressed assets into the value of the neighborhood. So you may have had a $250,000 house, and all of a sudden a quarter of the neighborhood is on the retail market at $50,000 because they all need $150,000 rehabs. What's going to happen? You're going to have a huge slump in prices for years. This isn't everything hits the market and 6 months later it's fine. This will have a negative impact on certain neighborhoods for years.
1 minute.
How do we avoid that? Sell these properties to a real estate investor. You do not want them on MLS. You don't want them on HAR. It's going to kill the retail market. God forbid you're a homeowner in one of these areas. I mean, thank God your house didn't flood. But if you're trying to move in the next 2 to 3 years, this could have a huge impact on the value of your house. So if you know anybody that wants to sell a flooded house, they've got to sell it to an investor that can buy a ton of houses all at once, because you don't want all this stuff to show up on the market. It's Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. Get back from the break. We're going to talk more about the economic impacts of Hurricane Harvey on single-family real estate.
Mic's off.
Are small returns getting in the way of your retirement plans? Why settle for mediocre results? There's a better place to invest. The experts agree. Single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906 or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This investment is offered to accredited investors.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Have you ever experienced the pain of trying to get MLS comps for your hot lead? If you've lost deals waiting for MLS comps, you can understand the frustration. How much would it help you if you no longer had to wait for a real estate agent to get you the info you need to close a deal? Propelio is a brokerage website that gives you instant 24/7 access to high-equity lead lists and comps with access to a network of the top real estate agents. Get an edge on everyone else. Get a free 7-day trial today by going to getmlscomps.com now. That's getmlscomps.com.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give Next Gen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you. at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
All right, we got 1 minute.
Okay.
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
This is Business 1110.
Call Jason at 713-785-1817.
All right, Jay. Hot mics in 3, 2, 1.
Facebook.com/RightPathRealEstate.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. Getting some questions here on Facebook. What if the property you bought with your company flooded more than once? How are you going to resell it at market value because NFIP won't insure it? Okay, you've got to find out for certain if FEMA will not insure that property. Here's what I think is actually going to happen. Right now, there are a lot of people that are holding on to, how can I put this? That are holding on to, they're holding on to some things that that they believe will happen that I will not see happen. So this is a little bit of prediction for me. There are a lot of people who do not have flood insurance that think they're going to be able to sue the county for essentially for violation of eminent domain for the duration that the county used their land to flood, to send water to during the flood. In other words, their house was flooded during the release of Addicks and Barker. I really don't think that lawsuit's going to go anywhere. And if it does, it's not going to be the big payout everybody's looking for. So if you're in Houston, you're probably under a deluge of Facebook advertising right now for attorneys to represent your interest if your house was flooded from the release of those waters. I think it's interesting. I only see it for Addicks and Barker. I haven't seen it for Conroe. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how many of the Conroe folks get involved. But there's a legal precedence out there that basically says the government can't go and take your land. And they're going to make the legal argument that the government, in this case the county government, took their property by force by releasing water that was under their care onto their property. I personally don't think this lawsuit's going to go anywhere. I think it's we're giving people a lot of hope who don't have flood insurance, but we'll see. I've been wrong before, so we'll see. I just have this feeling it's not going to go anywhere. And if it does, it's going to take years. So there's a lot of people holding on to that. I also believe that there's also a lot of folks that believe that, oh, my house flooded, the, quote, government is going to buy it from me. That doesn't, first of all, FEMA doesn't really do that. Typically, that's left up to your county. So I know what happened in San Antonio where they had gotten so much rain in a certain section of town that the county stepped in. It was either county or the city. Stepped in and said, we're buying all this land. Part of the problem was not only would these areas flood relatively frequently, it was very violent. I mean, people would get killed. And don't get me wrong, I mean, the stuff that happened here in Houston was wild. But for the most part, people were hanging out on roofs, sitting on their car waiting for the Cajun Navy to show up with an airboat or a flat-bottom aluminum boat. That's an entirely different scenario than 6 feet of water that comes out of nowhere that starts knocking houses down. I mean, that's a whole different deal. So I know there's a certain portion of Houston, actually outside of Houston, this is happening in, and I know it's happened in San Antonio, where the county comes in and says, we need to buy all this property up because we're going to turn it into a spillway. That's not going to happen. Not in large. It may happen in certain sections of the city in small blocks, but FEMA's not going to come in and buy all the houses north and south of Memorial that flooded. Sorry, that's not going to happen. I mean, we're talking about billions in real estate. They're not going to go down Piney Point and buy everything, a quarter mile on either side of the bayou. Sorry, that's not going to happen. Another question I get a lot is, hey, Jason, they're going to come in and build all this infrastructure. What happens if it floods again before the infrastructure gets built? And I tell them, I'm like, look, this has already happened before. Let's back up for 1 second here. When I worked at the medical center, we had Tropical Storm Allison. That was really the big event. And you'll notice the medical center did not flood this time. I mean, they had some spotty stuff, but nothing like it did during Tropical Storm Allison. This was twice as bad as Allison. It took 10 years to build the infrastructure around the medical center. Hundreds of millions. Actually, if you probably add it all up, it wouldn't surprise us if it was $5 or $10 billion spent on infrastructure in and around the medical center. Not only money spent by the county and the city, but the amount of money spent by each one of the hospitals down there and the research facilities. It's billions of dollars. So the question I get frequently is, well, Jason, is it going to flood again? I don't know. It's a 1,000-year event. But here's what I'll tell you. It's going to take 10 years of infrastructure management and building to get there. However, they're not going to do it. FEMA, city, county are not going to do it by buying large swaths of property. I mean, if your house got flooded in Cinco Ranch, if your house got flooded, because that was one of the Addicts Barker deals, if your house got flooded in and around Buffalo Bayou, they're not going to go in and buy entire sections of neighborhoods out. They can't. Actually, I'll tell you what I'd love to know. I may reach out to an attorney and ask this question. For those areas of town that have very powerful HOAs, this may require big changes to some of the HOA bylaws, because all of a sudden you've got a certain amount of property that's appropriated for single-family houses that you're now going to do what? Build a park in? Put a berm on? I mean, this isn't... people are making this sound like, oh, yeah, you can just go in and write a check and FEMA's going to let me out of my house. And I'm like, man, this is way more complicated than that. Part of the reason this is a lot more complicated in this city is because our HOAs are so powerful. We have no zoning. City of Houston is the largest city in the country with no zoning. Now, when people hear that, they think, oh, my gosh, your real estate market must be absolute bedlam. And no, that's not the case. We have incredibly powerful HOAs here, which... as a guy who's got a pretty big libertarian streak, I think that's how it should be. Government really doesn't need to be involved in where you can put what piece of real estate. But when homeowners get together, i.e. a homeowners association, a private entity, then gets to dictate what happens based on what the property owners want to see happen. So I think folks are under this perception they're just going to come in and buy all these houses. Let's talk about Cinco Ranch for a minute. So you go into an area of Cinco Ranch, or even Westbury is another great example. You go into a section of Westbury, the vast majority of the neighborhood wasn't impacted by the flood. In other words, they didn't get it in their house. Now, their streets flooded. It was a total disaster getting in and out of the neighborhood, but by and large, most of the houses didn't flood. So who do you think is going to go in and buy all those houses? Let's say they buy all of the flooded houses on either side of those little bayous that run in and out of those neighborhoods. What are those houses going to look like? Do you think FEMA's just going to show up, write a check, and then there's going to be all these big caterpillars, like big front-end loaders and dumpsters, that say FEMA on them, and they're going to demo these houses and demo the streets and demo the utilities and make it a pretty park? I mean, is that what people think is going to happen? Because I can tell you it's not. If the county goes in and buys all these houses, what are these houses? They don't immediately go in and strip down the house. So let's say you're in Cinco Ranch that has a very high value, right? Those are really nice houses, nice place to live. Let's say you live across the street from this strip of houses they just bought. They're going to board those things up, and they're going to sit there vacant. And they're going to sit there vacant for a while. What impact do you think that's going to have on your property value? There's a lot of people talking about, oh, FEMA ought to come in and buy whole sections of the city up. You do not want that. Those houses will sit vacant, and they will turn into meth labs in the blink of an eye. Trust me on that one. We've seen it just with vacant houses, a handful of vacant houses in a good neighborhood. You've got to be very, very strategic, extremely careful in just saying, oh yeah, I just want to kind of give up and see if I can sell my house to the government. You've got to be real careful, because it may have a very detrimental impact on your neighborhood.
2 minutes.
I mean, vacant house, I'll tell you right now, one of the biggest, absolute biggest risks to these neighborhoods right now are vacant houses. Vacant houses turn into some real rough places. I'll give you even if they don't turn into crack dens. A couple of high school kids break it into a vacant house. Now it's the new little party house. Sitting there drinking beer, smoking some dope, and somebody burns the thing down. Now you got a burnt vacant house across the street from your $500,000 house in Cinco Ranch. You think your house worth $500,000 anymore? Think again. You do not want neighborhoods full of vacant houses. You want investors to come in there and start buying. If people want to leave their house, and don't get me wrong, I totally get it. A lot of you guys are going to rebuild. But there's a whole bunch of y'all out there. I think of this is how I look at it.
1 minute.
If my parents got flooded and they hadn't retired yet, you know what my parents would be doing? They'd move all their stuff to the curb, they'd get their insurance check, and they would call somebody like Houston House Buyers. Call Houston House Buyers and say, guys, I'm done. We lost everything. Me and Mama are getting in the RV, and we are not coming back because I don't want to manage a rehab. I'm retired. We're done. And there's significant portions of the city that are going to do that. And the only way to keep these neighborhoods from losing value is to call Houston House Buyers and say, hey, guys, we got to sell, Mom and Dad, or usually we get a call from the kids or from the owner. Look, Mom and Dad are tired. They're moving up. They're finally building that house out in the hill country. Their house flooded. They went ahead and said, hey, we're gonna throw in the towel here. We're ready to retire. Why don't you guys come down and make us an offer on this house? That's what you want. You do not want entire neighborhoods that are vacant with vacant houses. I'm going to finish the rest of this question when we get back from the break. It's Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate.
Mic's off.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you. Call Houston's leading real estate risk management experts, Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas, 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Have you ever experienced the pain of trying to get MLS comps for your hot lead? If you've lost deals waiting for MLS comps, you can understand the frustration. How much would it help you if you no longer had to wait for a real estate agent to get you the info you need to close a deal? Propelio is a brokerage website that gives you instant 24/7 access to high-equity lead lists and comps with access to a network of the top real estate agents. Get an edge on everyone else. Get a free 7-day trial today by going to getmlscomps.com now. That's getmlscomps.com.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call today at 713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you on your next transaction. NMLS 514497.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or visit our website at questira.com.
Selecting a foundation company and their product for repair is a lot like a game of chance. You simply don't know what you're going to get. The foundation repair industry as a whole doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files to give you the best foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825, or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
Rehab loans, conventional loans, FHA, and no-income documentation loans can seem scary unless you have the right mortgage company to guide you through the process. Since 2003, Noble Mortgage has been helping investors just like you. Whether rehabbing houses, buying your first home, rental, or commercial property, Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing. Call Noble Mortgage at 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. It's noblemoney.com.
Are small returns getting in the way of your retirement plans? Why settle for mediocre results?
All right, Jay, we're coming back.
The experts agree. Single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906 or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This investment is offered to accredited investors.
This is Business 1110.
Call Jason at 713-785-1817
right,
and look
Hot
for us on
Mike's
Facebook Live at
3, 2,
facebook.com/RightPathRealEstate.
Welcome back. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. I want to finish up this question. A lot of people think that FEMA's going to come riding in on this white horse and pay off everybody's mortgage and pay their houses off, and we're going to turn these entire areas of Houston into their natural wetlands. I can tell you that's not going to happen. There's just let's do this. Let's say you do want that to happen. Let me tell you what it will look like. Housing prices will go through the roof. One of the reasons they'll go through the roof is that there is no new construction since just about 2009, at least 2010. There are very few neighborhoods that are building houses below $200,000. So if you wipe out an entire neighborhood or a section of neighborhood where the houses are valued $200,000 or less, we just increase their cost to buy a house substantially. So there's no new 200,000, let's call it affordable homes. There are no new affordable homes coming on the market. That's just the reality. No new supply. That's not going to change. The cost of construction is too expensive. It's even now gotten more expensive because of what's going on with Hurricane Harvey. Second problem is you don't want a bunch of vacant houses in your neighborhood. I'll tell you guys a little secret that we learned. Marijuana growers love to build grow houses in new neighborhoods. Why? It has to do with the energy efficiency of these houses. People, these drug guys love newer neighborhoods because the houses are so much more efficient. They can run their big glow lamps and all that other stuff, and you can't pick these things up on thermal imaging. So, and I'd say ask us how I know. Somewhere on our website, we've got pictures of grow house. So those guys love new construction or newer construction. Plus, you don't want the liabilities of having all these vacant houses. So trust me when I tell you, you want to sell these houses. If a homeowner doesn't want to do a rehab, and I don't blame them, just sell the house to a real estate investor. If you got flood insurance, get your FEMA check. If you don't have flood insurance, you can wait and see what FEMA is going to do about it. But I'll tell you this. I think FEMA is going to have to step back and say, hey, just because it flooded during Hurricane Harvey doesn't immediately disqualify it from getting flood insurance. I think the government's going to step in and say Harvey doesn't count. I think that ultimately that will be the least expensive option for them, and they'll continue to insure those properties that were flooded during Harvey. Just to answer Moses' question here. I think that's absolutely what's going to happen. So I think federal government's it'll happen through Congress, and they'll step in and say, hey, guys, Hurricane Harvey doesn't count. You can go ahead and get flood insurance. So, all right, guys, weekend retreats, weekend after next. Those of you in Dallas, I'll see you guys Thursday. I think I'm talking about money, how to raise a bunch of money, which is really what I was doing in L.A. So we'll talk about how to raise millions of dollars for you to do your real estate deals. So I'll be there Thursday night. Weekend retreats last weekend of September. Thanks for listening, guys. Can't wait to see you at one of our events. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate.
RJ, have a good day.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio.